Stacy, the Black Feather Intuitive. Welcome to Pop Culture Readings. Around here, we're all about curiosity, clarity, and courage, understanding ourselves, each other, and the beautifully messy mystery of being human. Come with your questions, leave with understanding, and maybe a little lighter than before. And today, we are talking about Zendaya again. Who is she becoming? Zendaya seems to have mastered the art of becoming more without losing herself. Goals. But when the whole world already loves who you are, how do you give yourself permission to become someone else? So let's talk about the heart of the story here. Zendaya continues to expand far beyond acting. Between major film productions, producing, fashion partnerships, and her growing influence in Hollywood, she's become one of the industry's most respected young creatives. Rather than being defined by a single franchise, she's steadily building a career that spans multiple industries. And can I just say that I absolutely love her fashion taste? Whoever is her stylist, OMG. And I'm not even a fashion girl, but I know enough to go, wow, like just amazing. So why do people care about her? Why do people care about all of this? Well, she's no longer just Rue from Euphoria or the Spider-Man actress. She's become a brand, a producer, a businesswoman, and a creative force. She's just a badass. The question isn't whether she's talented. It's how do you keep evolving when the world already loved the version of you that they met? So let's get to the tea. And of course, we always love this. Zendaya has had a 4-year relationship that she never mentioned in 2017. She never mentioned her partner's name, even though the speculation was that it was Trevor Jackson. Then she was linked to Odell Beckham Jr., even though that was never confirmed either. And then, of course, the one that everybody knows about, she was linked to Euphoria co-star Jacob Elordi. But as of late 2024, Zendaya found love with fellow Spider-Man actor Tom Holland. The question that's on everyone's mind and heart is, will this love last? And I'm going to say to you peeps, I've talked about this before in other videos. I definitely feel when I tap into the energy of the two of them, that they have definitely found something that is quality. They have found something that is sacred to both of them, and they're both invested in making it work, in keeping that going. So from a Spidey sense perspective, I definitely feel that this love will last. But let's see what the cards have to say. Interesting. So we pulled the judgment card, and the judgment card, the first thing I have to point out is it's a 20, which numerologically breaks down into a 2. What does 2 mean? Partnership, pairing, unions, soul contracts, all of that fun stuff. So I feel like this judgment card also is saying, you know, they've made a decision with one another to really be intentional about moving forward with the life that they are living. I feel that with the judgment card, you know, when this card shows up in any kind of reading, it indicates we've come to kind of that choice point in our lives. It's like, okay, do we stay or do we go? Is this something we're going to move forward with, or are we going to walk away from it? It's kind of that last lap. Do we, you know, we've been the phoenix burning, you know, we've burned and spontaneously combust and burned into a pile of ash. We're no longer who we used to be. This is who we're becoming. And it really is a choice point to say, yes, I'm ready to move forward into my future. Let's do this together. So I love that this is the card that has come through, because I feel like it is giving us validation. It's saying, yes, they have what it takes to make their relationship last a long time. And from everything that I intuit about them, and then everything that we see, everything that they allow us to see is very genuine, very open and honest. And, you know, they're very protective of their relationship. And I don't ever get the impression when I tap into either of their energies that their privacy is because they're trying to hide things. It's more that they're just keeping their privacy. You know, they're holding their relationship sacred. And anyone who has been in that type of, you know, situation or relationship where you've got a lot of other people whose eyes are on you, you understand that there are certain things you just can't share with other people. It needs to remain in the sanctity of the two of you, right? Keeping that relationship connected and alive and supported. So yes, I believe this love will last. Let's talk about the truth beneath what's going on with Zendaya. What allows someone to grow while the entire world keeps trying to define them? And this is really a challenge for, I would say, all people who have some level of fame because, your fans, the peeps, everybody's got an opinion. And, I always like to say opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, and that's about the extent of it. But, everyone feels that they have the right to weigh in. And to a certain degree, when you open your life to the general public, there is a certain level of that you need to expect and you need to be prepared for. So when she's in this space where, she's growing and she's growing in ways that she's choosing, how does she do that when the rest of the world is, trying to keep her stuck or just really likes where she's at? This is interesting. We have the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is a card of support and grace. It's the card of moving on to calmer shores. And I feel like I guess it's a numbers day today. Six numerologically is about balance, harmony, and alignment. And the swords energy is our thoughts, our intuition. Sometimes it has to do with legal matters, things of that nature. But it's really a card that indicates, all right, we've come this far. And we know that we're heading somewhere else. And it's been a challenge to get to where we are right now. But there's hope. There's something on the horizon. Just keep going. And not only is it just keep going, but it's, someone's going to actually help you. Someone is going to carry you on, their angelic wings of love and support to get you where you need to be. I feel like Zendaya just kind of feels a lot of confidence in herself, feels confident in her visions and her intuition. And she knows that regardless of what she invents within herself, who she becomes within herself, she's confident with that transformational journey that, yeah, I might be this right now, but eventually I'm going to be something else. And I'm okay with that. And I feel like it's the confidence piece. She knows that there's always going to be another shore to move on to. And it might be a little bumpy, and there might be people that, aren't supportive or have a difficult time with that shift and that change. But she has enough confidence in her own vision that it's almost like she provides her own level of support. She has enough confidence to say, no matter what is going on, we're going to be able to get through this. I'm going to grow through this. And I think that's, again, goals. And that's goals for each and every one of us who connect with her energy, who follow her, who look up to her, who watch the things, that she does. It's goals because, she's amazing. She's wonderful. But I want to say to you, she's no more amazing or wonderful than any one of us when we connect with our own zone of genius. So I feel like she's an example of how you can grow and evolve even through the fame, even through other people's expectations of you. My dad has this saying, you can pack the bags, but I don't have to take the guilt trip. I feel like Zendaya has learned this. She's like, you can have all the dreams and thoughts and visions and expectations in the world of me. It doesn't mean that I have to adopt that. It doesn't mean that that's the direction that I need to take my life in. And I feel like she is a really great example for all of us to step into. Be yourself, do you, and anyone who doesn't like it, who gives a shit? She's still going to do it. She's still going to move on. And I think that's great. Okay, now it's one of my favorite times of this segment. We are going to do some mirror work. Love it. So, speaking of what we can learn from Zendaya, are you growing? Or I want to say, are you growing into your next chapter? And how are you growing into your next chapter? Or perhaps are you protecting your last one? This is a big one, guys. So I feel like society often teaches us, like we get mixed messages. Oh, you can go out and you can be anything you want. You can do all the things that you want and you don't have to follow any of the rules. But then if you don't follow the rules, you're ostracized, you're judged, you're told that you're wrong or you're bad. If something doesn't go quite right, everybody right away is on you about that's not the right way to do things. But in order to grow, we have to kind of throw spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks from time to time. You want to be able to kind of see Zendaya and how she shifts and changes and how she just goes after the things that she wants and makes it work somehow, right? I mean, money aside, fame aside, obviously those things open doors. But when we're talking about you in your life, are you really looking towards who you want to become? Are you putting that in your priority list? Is it number one on the to-do list? Or is it that sort of hopeful thing in the future that you never really feel is going to come? And really where you're putting your energy is into protecting something that perhaps you've outgrown a bit, or that you're still in, but eventually it's going to come to an end. And maybe you're trying to stop that end from coming. Let's see what the cards have to say in terms of how we can, maybe rise above that. I love it. The Ace of Wands. Okay, so aces are about pure potential, and this Ace of Wands is all about inspired action. And I feel like when we're talking about, are you opening into the next chapter of you and who you're becoming? Kind of like Zendaya. She goes out and, she wears a different outfit every single night. And that helps to bring out the persona, and also just to be playful with what is. I'm going to be this character tonight and I'm going to be that character tomorrow night. And it doesn't mean that I'm attached to any of it. She's not protecting her image. She's not protecting who she's being. She's actually putting herself out there and saying, okay, who can I become? And let's have fun with it. So the Ace of Wands really has a lot of that energy. And I want to say to you, when you're talking about what you're doing or what you're protecting, the Ace of Wands says, let go of the past. Be inspired to do something a little bit new, a little bit different. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to reinvent the wheel. Just to use Zendaya's fashion sense, if you were to look at all of her fashion choices, you can't really pinpoint one particular style, right? She goes out, she changes her hair for it. She's got, a different dress, or maybe she's got a pantsuit on. It's always a different look. Does that mean that she's changing who she is? No, it means she's expressing an aspect of herself that is fun, that she's trying it on for size. Does it mean that she's becoming that? No, not at all. And that means I want to say that you have permission to do the same thing. If there's something you have always wanted to do, don't keep it, at level 10 on your to-do list. Make it number one, make it your priority, and do a little bit every day, or take one step once a week towards exploring what that might be for you. We become the things that we put our focus to. And I feel like Zendaya is the perfect example of that. She's a walking example to all of us to say, go get your freak on, go do the things that your heart or your soul is encouraging you to do. You can't go wrong with it. What's the worst that can happen? You try something on for size and you realize, that was better in fantasy than it really was in reality. Well, at least you now know. You can put that to bed, you can check it off the list, and you move to the next exciting adventure. And that's what she's here to teach us. Oh my goodness, guys. All right. So that is our episode of Pop Culture. I just love sharing this stuff with you guys. It's so much fun. Remember, curiosity gets us in the door. Clarity helps us understand what we're seeing. And courage is what we do with what we've learned. Until I see you for another episode of Pop Culture Readings, sending lots of love and support. We'll see you on the flip side, and transform well.